Hello and welcome to another episode of The Naked Turner. Today I'm going to be turning an out-of-center rectangular bowl small sushi serving platter. And I have it chucked up on my lathe. I will show you that in just a second. Hopefully this video will explain some of the off-center turning, and I'm also going to explain how I make the mortise for my scrolling jaw chuck, because I had one of my subscribers ask what tools I use to do that. So I will show you how that works now. I have this rectangle chucked up, or actually faceplate mounted onto my lathe, and the way I generally turn this mortise is I use two things. I use my 1/2 inch by 1/4 inch round nose scraper. I scrape out to close to where my mark is. Then I take my 1/2 inch by 1/4 inch skew chisel and I come in at about a 5-degree angle, something like that. 5 degrees off of 90. Here's my 90. I bring it in like that so that it's flat. This actually has about a 5-degree slope on it, so that helps me make sure I'm getting that angle. And I just take and thrust that in and get my slight dovetail angle on the inside of that mortise. And then that little dovetail enables me to put my scrolling jaw chuck, which has a corresponding 5-degree dovetail on it. I can put that in there, expand it out, and that will grip onto my piece. So hopefully that explains that process. So anyway, this rectangular piece here is approximately 5 by 7, and I'll have about a 4-inch or a little under 4-inch little bowl on the inside of this. I'm just about done shaping the back side. I'm going to do a tiny bit of sanding, and then I will flip it around and show you the rest of this process. The back is sanded and the edges, and I'm going to put some finish on. And once again, this is just wax and shellacs. Alright, so here I have it spun around, chucked up on my scrolling jaw chucks. And you always really, especially when you're turning out of square pieces or off-center pieces, make sure you give yourself a spin or two just to make sure you're not catching on your banjo or on your tool rest. You can turn it on and have it hit something, and then your whole piece that you've been working on could be destroyed. So it's always the best idea to give it a couple spins, check it, make sure it's on tight, make sure everything's locked down, and then you're ready to go. Always do that, and of course always put on your safety equipment, especially, well, all the time, but especially when you're doing out of center stuff, because you have something that's out of balance and there is more of a potential for something to get thrown off. So make sure you do that. Okay, bringing this feet up. And right about there. So, what I'm going to do is make a couple marks. Alright, so I have some screw holes right around here. And then the outside of my piece is right around there. I want to come in maybe Okay, so what I'm trying to do right now is surface this surface off with a shear scraping cut. Okay, it's looking good. Okay, now the scraper. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, it's looking real nice. I got the edge I want out here, and now it's just going to be about hollowing that out. I'm going to sharpen this edge up a little bit more though. Very nice fine cuts. Make sure your tool is sharp. Okay, that's almost flat. I want to get it a little thinner, this surface here. Okay, that's looking like a pretty nice thickness here. Maybe just a little bit thinner. Okay, that's that. Now I'll do the blowing on the inside. Okay, it's looking real nice. Now, that's very nice. So I just used the Cindy Drozda spindle tool, fine spindle tool, and I love using that for doing a nice push cut, riding the heel and push cutting into the bottom. Does a nice cleanup. I don't usually turn across the bottom with this just because it's such a small point. I'll come back in with a scraper or something, but you can do a quick, very light pass just to kind of remove all the material and keep on the same sweep. It's a very nice tool. Thank you, Cindy, for having this made by Packard. Okay, now I have a nice square shoulder inside of there for a lid. I think I'm going to make a lid for this, I just decided. So there we go. A little bit of sanding on that. Let's move that out of the way and widen out a little. And there it is. It's turning out nice. Okay, in looking at this, I decided, since I have a fairly thick wall here, I decided that I would do a little bit of hollowing inside of there. So that's what I'm doing right now, and I'm just about done. Alright, I'm getting ready to put a little finish on. Finished off-center platter. Alright, so now I'm working on the top out of, I believe this is a piece of English walnut, and it's turning really nicely. So I'm working on the fitment for this to fit down into the actual lip on here, and I have a really nice fit right now. So what I'm going to do is take this off, put it on my scrolling draw chuck, and turn the other side. Alright, so now I'm creating the profile of the piece. I have a little tiny bit of a curve in here, and now I'm creating kind of a cymbal shape, like a brass cymbal for a drum set. Doing that with my 1/2-inch scraper again, nice and sharp. Okay, that looks like a nice shape. And now, there we go. Okay, so I created a few little grooves in here, and they may not be quite deep enough, so I'm going to go back into them here. Okay, there we go. Alright, so I just turned a small finial for this piece, this off-center piece that I'm making, and I guess I'm going to call it a box now because it's kind of a serving platter slash box. Anyway, I turned this, I had a small piece of ebony here, and I turned it into this finial that I am now going to put on that box.